Okay. Ready? 3, 2, let me get some.
Again?
3, okay. 3, 2, 1. Oh!
Yes!
That wasn't that cool, but you know what?
Clank them together.
This can be an intro to the podcast tomorrow. You're
Sure
not
thing.
in the video. Oh, okay. We might have to censor your face a little bit.
Are you kidding me?
Your turn to talk.
You know what? I might as well fire you. I own the podcast. You're out. I'm gonna talk to my imaginary friend
I'd
the whole
like to
time.
see you try to do a podcast by yourself.
I might as well be. You literally, for those of you who don't know, which is all of you, Jason started off recording this by saying, "Hey, you do all the work."
This would be so uninteresting if I wasn't a part of it. It wouldn't exist.
That's true, but you still don't try hard enough.
Well, it wouldn't exist if it weren't for both of us. Technically, you're the one who started it.
You're the one who had the resources because it started on your channel.
It wouldn't be popular if it wasn't for me.
It's popular?
I use my platform of extreme and undying loyal fans to grow the popularity of this channel.
Yes, I certainly see that in the numbers. It's very much paying off. How many subscribers you got again? He's celebrating right now.
200. It's actually 225, I think. And then it went down to 223. I don't know if it fluctuated or if
that's past the 1/5 milestone, the monetization.
I already passed the 1/5 a long time ago when I got 200.
Yeah, and then it just sort of plateaued.
But I passed the 1/4 to the next 100. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. You lost me for a second. I was like, what are you talking about? Anyways.
That was the intro.
Yep.
We're back from the intro.
Yeah, it's that fast. It's longer for you.
I'm waiting for you to realize what you have to say.
Oh, what I have to say?
Yeah.
Well, you said the one thing you said that we have to talk about is how you tore down your green.
You have to say you're the or the host.
Oh snap! You're right. That is who I am. I'm the bro host.
And I'm the brother of the bro host, also known as the bro host 2, also known as the bro host, the co-host.
Now that Jason's done having a stroke.
I tried to mix it up. I'm trying to spice it up.
I'm done with my identity crisis.
This is what I'm talking about. It would be boring without me.
Yes, Jason. You certainly bring a lot of rambling to the table.
As if you don't.
Yes, our rambling bounces off of each other. It's complementary.
At least I don't
it's
say.
The spice of life.
At least 90% of my sentences don't consist of the word Mic drop.
You know what?
That's just because I'm used to commentary, so I'm better at not saying.
I just like to have the right words, and sometimes that means, hey, can you guys wait just a sec while I gather the right words?
But it's better to just not say anything. I guess your brain tries.
Your
brain tries to fill in awkward.
You're
silence.
always like threatening me with these
lulls.
You're like they're leaving. You're quiet for
That's
2
if
seconds.
we literally just sit here and we're like, yep, we're out of things to talk about. But if you're already talking about a sentence, they can wait 1 second for you to collect your words.
Let's talk about your hair.
I'm just saying, gets a little annoying. Let's not. There's nothing to talk about it. I cut it.
Yeah,
and the end. Yeah,
and now that it's short, it's got some frayed up bits, and so there's this one part that's like sticking straight up. It's like,
dude, that is so.
You've got an antenna.
Let's talk about your hair.
Dude,
it's ugly. It's long. It's greasy.
Dude, no,
it's slimy.
wait, hold on. Sit right there. You've got the one part that's sticking straight up, and then there's another part.
They can't see this. Stop.
No, I'll add it to the artwork.
No, do nothing. Talk. Go. This is the lull.
Yeah, my hair looks like a scoop of chocolate ice cream. That's me.
That's not what I meant to talk about. I meant to talk about a subject.
Yeah, I broke Jason's green screen.
That's a good one. That's a nice one to lead into. Do you care to explain how it happened?
Oh, you're gonna make me say it?
Oh, you want me to recount the story?
Okay.
Okay.
As long as you're unbiased.
I'll do it. Jonathan's in my room. I mean, it's pretty simple.
Okay, I can already tell. It's gonna be biased.
No, Jonathan's in my room. He hits the. I don't know if I don't think we've.
I
don't think that. Shut up! Let me tell the story.
Jeez, dude.
You're interjecting.
You better lower the volume on that.
Yes, that was loud, but you didn't even let me give context, and you're already trying to tell me I'm biased.
I was sensing a lull.
From me trying to talk.
Yes.
You sensed a lull.
Now you know how it feels.
No, you started defending yourself before I could even give context to the story. I didn't even start telling the story.
Let's go. Let's start it up again.
Yeah. So the green screen, I don't think they've ever seen it in any of the pre-roll videos that you have.
Well, they know that you have a green screen if they watch your videos.
Yeah, but I'm saying they don't know the structure, the setup that which is important to the story.
Okay, well then explain the setup, bro.
There's basically like this stand, like a vertical pole, like with a tripod on the bottom. So it's just standing straight up, and then that has a little thing at the top where you put a pole into it horizontally, and then there's another pole to go with it. But because my desk is right next to the wall, I have to have that pole on top, the horizontal one, connect basically right to the wall. So what I had poster putty, like that, the kind of stuff. I don't know if you know what poster putty is. I don't know how popular it is.
Everybody knows poster putty. Around these parts.
They call it like...
I don't know what parts you're from.
Tacky putty, tack maybe.
It's just stuff you stick stuff on the wall
It's that sticky stuff that you put stuff on the wall with. And so I basically had the pole connected to the wall with that. And then it's resting in this pole which is standing up vertically. So it's like think in like an upside down L in the wall. And then the green screen is on that horizontal pole hanging down. So anyways, you get the idea. Jonathan hits the pole, the stand, the vertical one, the tripod. And he hits it with his toe, and I'm just like irritated. I'm like, can you please not hit the pole? Because if you nudge it, it might loosen the horizontal pole connecting to the wall. And so his response, I don't know, I guess you said you thought the pole was falling.
No, at this point I had already hit it. I
just said that. You hit it.
Yeah, I hit it, and it was like way leaning in. It turned from a gamma into a 7.
It wasn't. That's the thing.
No, it was.
Jonathan, it didn't move at all.
No. Dude, are you crazy? It was like all the way in there.
So what happened is he just nudged it. It didn't move, but what can happen is if you nudge it like that, the pole sometimes falls because it gets loose. And I guess he thought it was falling down. And so he pulled
it was a miracle it was still standing up.
John, it's sturdy. You're not going to knock it down just by nudging it.
All I did...
You literally start... Yeah, no. Okay, if this is what you're saying, you literally hallucinated. It didn't move at all, Jonathan.
Dude, no, I freaked out. I was like, that looks so wrong. It was so almost 40... Not 45 degrees.
You hallucinated.
Dude, I stared at it. It was all the way in.
It
was like this.
I can move this like this. It's not going to fall down no matter what.
It was like this.
Stop! You're moving it now! What are you doing?
It's not attached to anything. It doesn't matter.
It has to stay in the same spot for my green screen.
Oh, you're right.
You fool! This is what I'm talking about. You lack common sense skills. Even now, we just caught this on camera.
I don't call that common sense. I have no idea.
Yeah, it is. Why would you just move it when it's in a spot where it's supposed to be?
I don't think it has to be in the exact same spot.
Clearly, we built enough context from that moment alone. So he thinks that it's falling over. He pulls it back. So now this pole is basically just attached on one side to the wall with poster putty. And because all of its weight then is connecting to the wall, as it falls down, it rips the wall off with it. So now there's just a small little gash in the wall where it's just cardboard and not painted anymore.
Okay, dude.
So he's just ripped it off.
You got the whole story right. A bit aggressive, but I'm telling you, I didn't just nudge it. And for context, I have like ducked feet or whatever it's called, like the opposite of pigeon-toed. They stick out like a V. So I stub my toe and I trip on stuff all the time. But I didn't just nudge this thing, because I've nudged it before and then I'm like, oh. It happens all the time. I'm just like, oh, phew. But this, I straight up kicked it, soccer ball style, by accident. And it was Leaning Tower of Pisa, and I was like freaking out, like, oh, it's going to tip her over.
Nudged it.
So I tried to pull the base out, but because it was attached to the wall, I ended up pulling the whole thing away.
Right. But what you're saying is physically impossible. It couldn't have fallen in because it's sitting in the wall. It would have had to go through the wall for it to fall.
No. Dude, I'm trying to tell you, the top stayed exactly where it is. The base got kicked in way far, so it was leaning at this angle. Do you see this? That's what happened. And you probably only looked at the top and you didn't notice it. You were like focused on the pole.
Okay, even if you did move it a little bit there, though,
I was scared. It looked like it was about to cave in on
itself.
itself.
It moved very minorly. And second, there was no reason why you should have pulled it away completely.
I'm gonna be honest.
I want to move on
this
from
is
this. I want to move on from this.
I was worried that
you're not gonna agree with me because you can't.
I'm just saying,
you can't not defend yourself. You can't not be right. So I'm not gonna.
Okay, feel free to move on, but then that means you got to change the subject.
No, I don't have anything to talk about.
Really, nothing? We finally watched a movie we've been wanting to watch for the longest time.
Oh, Spiderman?
Yeah, Far From Home.
Okay, go ahead, lead if you want to talk about that. I mean, I don't have anything really to say about it.
I like Spider-Man, but and Jason likes Spider-Man too, but whenever we get on the podcast, he has to pretend he hates everything I like, so he doesn't like superheroes.
I don't think I said that. I have always said consistently that I don't like superheroes, but I do like Spider-Man. There's nothing you think I'm like a movie review channel or something. I don't care about movies. I watch them, I consume them. They're pretty much all consistently good for me. Even ones that people say bad, I'm like, okay, I don't really care. I still enjoyed it as a movie. I'm not a movie critic whatsoever, and I have no comment on the movie other than it was good, and I like Spider-Man. So that's all I'm saying. I don't have anything to discuss about it. It's not like, let's discuss the lore and the backstory of Spider-Man and how this is going to progress into the sequel. The new character introduced, the Mysterio, let's get into the lore. I'm just saying it's a good movie.
I liked Mysterio because, and I was going to say this here.
He was a little cliche for me because
Cliche?
Very, very, well, the plot. It was very, very clear.
His setup was kind of cliche, but
very clear what was going to happen.
His role as a villain isn't so cliche, and I'll explain why I like him. Which is because I didn't know anything about the plot of this movie beforehand. I avoided all spoilers perfectly dodged. But I knew about the character of Mysterio.
Everybody talks about dodging spoilers. I've never had to actively dodge spoilers, except for Endgame.
Yes, Endgame is the only time. I agree with you. I feel like it's probably people who spend too much time on social media and they can't restrict themselves from looking at stuff.
With Endgame, I looked at memes on Instagram and there were spoilers in them. I don't understand how people say they try to avoid. I guess
Thanos when somebody does this.
I guess you just cut off all ties to the internet to avoid spoilers, but I mean, have fun with that. I don't really care that much. I just got spoiled about. Actually, I think I got spoiled on the fact that Iron Man dies.
I'm so glad I didn't get that one. It's been so long. No spoilers.
It doesn't matter.
We're not putting up a spoiler alert.
I thought about it. That's why I delayed before saying Iron Man, and I was like, if you haven't seen the movie, I'm sorry.
And by the way, we couldn't watch we could have seen Spider-Man last time. By the way, sorry for missing a podcast. We could have seen Spider-Man last week, or earlier the week before we watched it, which was last week. But our mom still hadn't seen Endgame, and as you know, it plays directly off of that.
So we went on a
We can
Marvel
finally talk
marathon.
about spoilers in front of her. That's why I still feel like I can't say spoilers, because we couldn't talk about the movie in front of her. She actually cared about it.
It still surprises me how adamantly she didn't want us to spoil the movie.
Yeah, she really cared. But yeah, the only thing that got spoiled for me was that Black Widow dies, and technically I didn't get one.
That was the first one, and then I'm pretty sure Iron Man was spoiled, but I didn't know.
I'm so glad that didn't get spoiled for me.
To be honest, I wasn't sure if it was real or a joke, because there was a lot of joke spoilers going around, and at first I thought, how could Iron Man die? Like, he's one of the most important characters.
They pulled it off pretty well.
So, and now he's moved on to greater things, like the movie Dolittle, whatever it's called.
Yeah, Dr. Dolittle.
Yeah.
Which you said is apparently becoming the worst movie ever.
Literally, everybody says it's horrible.
I gotta say, the trailer seemed like the most
plugging
bland.
it on his Instagram.
Oh no!
I went to
the Adamasy.
The Dolittle their Instagram page for the movie, promoting it. Their most recent post, as of when I checked it, was a Minecraft. It was somebody made a Minecraft adventure map of the movie. And they had a little clip of somebody playing.
Well, that's kind of nice, but it's also kind of that's
all
they
really wanted to pander. They tried to get relevancy there.
Oh my goodness,
but
dude!
It's funny because all the comments in there were like, "Wow, the movie's so good," and then I saw a couple that were replies to those comments saying that it was bad. But I think they deleted a lot of the straight up comments that said it was bad. Which, I mean, do what you got to do if you're advertising. Obviously, you'd want to delete that off your thing. So I don't really blame them for that. First
Poor
Amendment
Robert
right.
Downey Jr.
I get to call the movie bad. Yeah, but it's also social media, so you get to do what you want.
But I was gonna say is I had not seen any spoilers for the movie, but I was familiar with Mysterio's character, so I knew the basis of how he would end up being. I knew that he was gonna be a villain, and I knew that his premise is that he's all smoke and mirrors. And I know this because I know some random comic book lore because I'm a nerd. And I wanted to see the movie because it seems so interesting to me. Because, like, there's...
So this was a comic book character already?
Yeah, this is not his first appearance.
Okay.
But in past... They've done a lot... I was wondering, because I saw the trailers, and, he's fighting these monsters, and buildings are actually exploding. In past incarnations, he's literally just been... He didn't, like... This is a new thing as far as I know about faking other villains. Previously, he just faked, like, flying around, and he did that with, like, jetpacks and stuff, but he pretended it was superpowers. And I was like, how are they going to fake these entire monster fights and these buildings blowing up? And I was like, that's interesting. I want to see how they upgrade his level of fakery. And the answer to that is a mix of modern technology in the form of drones, pseudoscience modern technology in the form of holograms way more complex than we actually have, and of course, the Deus
Same with
Ex
the drones.
Stark Tech.
Obviously,
with Stark Tech, you can do anything.
All of the technology is just fits the plot.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess it makes sense.
But it's interesting because
it really actually it doesn't. I kind of hate the whole Stark Tech thing because
it is kind of a
it's just theoretical. It's just invincibility. I mean, you should be able to just dominate the world.
You think about it, there is some revolutionary...
Launch the drones.
Yeah, I don't like that.
You can just say, launch the world killer, kill everybody, I'm Thanos 2.0. Like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I wanted to say something about that. That's dumb. Like, story-wise, that Spider-Man just has that now. And how come Iron Man never used that stuff? I mean, I guess he kind of did sometimes.
It was built in to his suit.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that same stuff was built.
But yeah, that doesn't match Spider-Man's aesthetic. So I know already that he's never going to use the sunglasses again in the next Spider-Man
I don't think
movies.
he will.
But you know what? They're just creating a dumb trend now. Because do you remember in the first Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man Homecoming, his suit had an AI built into it already, and he was talking with it. And guess what? Now it's dead in the next movie. Never talks to it again. I don't remember its name. No, he gave it a name and everything.
No, he had a new suit because of the the girl made him a new suit specifically for the mission or whatever.
Well, yeah, no, that was the black suit that made him Night Monkey or whatever.
Yeah,
he's not wearing that again in the next one.
I know, but I'm saying so that's why I think it wasn't in this movie. But like in Endgame, if you paid attention during one of his fight scenes in the final fight in Endgame,
he said activate
insta kill. So obviously he still has the suit.
Yeah. Well, he kind of made a new one at the end of the movie though too, but I assume it has the same AI.
Right. So I'm.
So maybe that will reappear. But you've made me lose my train of thought now.
Great, we can stop talking about Spider-Man.
Here's why Mysterio is interesting. The Stark Tech is uninteresting, but I was gonna say, drones can do a lot nowadays. There's a high tech thing, and we are making huge advancements in holograms. So it's not the greatest.
Like shoot lasers. And have infinite precision. When
holograms
flying.
Don't shoot lasers, but the drones. I mean, we have laser tech.
I'm saying the drones have perfect precision. Can stabilize completely in the air while shooting lasers infinitely.
Dude,
I mean,
I'm sure the government's got something like that. I'm sure.
Maybe there's the possibility that we could make something like that, but I doubt it has been.
Here's the thing: if superhero movies allow people to have
it's realistic
physical
to the movie.
capabilities, I can believe that they can have super mental abilities to create some slightly higher than normal tech.
I'm saying it's realistic to the movie, but if you're trying to say it's realistic to real life, no. I don't think so at all.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think some of the Stark Tech is too much of a jump the shark even for the movie, but I think the stuff Mysterio did specifically is not too much of a jump for the movie.
No. Most of it, no.
But now, back on Mysterio, this is the last thing I'm going to say. I think it's interesting because you have these characters, like Iron Man, for example, who fight like superhero-type villains with powers, but they themselves are just a normal person who's like smart or creative. Mysterio's kind of like that same thing. He's got no powers, he's just a dude. But he's smart, but because he's a villain, instead of coming across as like clever and resilient, he creates his own suit or whatever. He's the villain. He's sort of a cheater, he's a liar, he fakes it all. And so it's this interesting contrast. You usually see that with the hero. They're powerless, but they make up for it. But it's in the villain. I just think it's cool. and he's got a neat
I
aesthetic.
think there's been a lot of villains like that.
Well, yeah, but
well, like you said with the Incredibles.
But they're usually just straight up mad scientists or something. You don't usually see them like acting like super villains, like to a superhero, like with powers and such. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You don't, because they aren't normally.
Yeah, so that's why I thought Mysterio was cool.
I'm saying most are like Mysterio, where
What?
they don't have superpowers.
Yes, but they don't pretend like they do, like Mysterio does.
Okay, you're saying the fact that he pretended to be a superhero.
Yes.
Yeah, that's unique. That was kind of the point of the character.
Yeah, and I just think that's a cool little thing. And it was neat to see it in action. In a movie.
That's great. Any other topics?
Oh, do you really not have a single topic?
I do. I was going to save it for later, because it's not really that important.
Does it have anything to do with the new Smash character that's been revealed?
No. Oh, we're already
Fire
getting into
Emblem.
the boring Nintendo stuff that nobody wants to listen to.
Well, no. Do you want to talk about it? Because it's another Fire Emblem character.
Let's keep it brief. When the clock strikes 27, we have to be done. Okay. I don't even think it should take that much time. Smash Bros. Okay, Smash Bros. Is pretty relevant in general.
Yeah, dude. I mean, and this is even more relevant. It just happened.
Yeah, I'm just saying, it's not as specific as like we were talking about Paper Mario or something.
Yeah.
Smash Bros. Revealed a new character, and people don't like it. John, then you can take the reins since
not
you wanted
consistently.
To talk about it.
I mean, obviously there are some people who do like it. Because
it's pretty much divided between these people. People that didn't really like it because they thought it was a bit redundant and a bad way to end off the Fighter's Pass, and people who really like the game Fire Emblem Three Houses, from which the character is from, and therefore like that the character made it into the game.
Yeah, well, I was going to say this. If a Fire Emblem character ever did get into Smash, well, obviously they already have, it makes sense, like
if one Fire Emblem...
this would be the time everything else context begot, because this is like the first Fire Emblem game I've seen that has been like gotten universal praise. Like, everyone loves Three Houses. It is phenomenal from what I've heard. I haven't played it. So, like, honestly, when I first heard that, I was like, Sakurai's probably going to make a character with it. I think the reason why a lot of people still didn't expect it is because, like Jason said, with this Fighter Pass, literally every single character was like a third party, and it was like totally left field. And then all of a sudden, just Byleth.
Well, yeah, like 5 things about that. First of all, he said that all of the characters would be third parties. Second, he said, or at least...
They're like second party.
At least he implied that. Fire Emblem is pretty much first party.
Yeah. I say second party because it is like intelligent systems. Or
which
whatever.
Is, I mean, I guess it's hired by Nintendo. But still, it's not really third party.
Yeah.
It's a Nintendo franchise. Like, it's branded by Nintendo. So, first of all, he said that, or at least implied, I think he might have actually said, but I think he, at the very least, heavily implied that all the characters would be third party, from completely other consoles, series, whatever. Second, when he started the Direct, he said, many people, even working at Nintendo, will be surprised by this. So we were all thinking like some crazy left field, off the wall
yeah, and
third
instead
party.
Now I'm thinking he actually knew that some people at Nintendo wouldn't like it.
So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That he's thinking people at Nintendo wouldn't expect that they would do something so Nintendo.
To the fact about there being too many sword fighters.
And
he knows.
What was the other thing I was gonna say? Yeah, the fact that it's the ultimate, the wrap up to the Fighter's Pass, which. But it's not because,
they reveal like 6 more.
There's 6 more characters that they said are already planned, already completely planned. But just the fact that, for some people, maybe if they aren't getting the next DLC, this is the last character they're getting.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like...
it's the last of the past.
Man, you should have done that one first and Joker last or something, because Joker was probably like the hypest reveal.
Dude, I actually wanted Joker.
Dude, I actually wanted... Bro, I actually wanted...
I wanted Dragon Quest Hero. Yeah. I actually got 2 of the characters I wanted.
All they had to do was just announce Sans.
Sans? They announced Cuphead.
Yeah, Cuphead was more well received than the actual DLC
I liked the indie representation there. Obviously, I didn't expect either of those characters to be playable fighters. Sans doesn't even really make sense. He's not the main character of the game.
Sans was insane just because the fact that they added
he just like drops in with Megalovania.
Just the fact that they added Sans was insane.
Yeah.
And then the fact that they added Cuphead wasn't
I
like...
mean, I remember people freaking out when Shovel Knight was revealed as an assist trophy.
Cuphead wasn't, like, insane or, like, totally, like, an oddball.
Well, it would have been more insane
if
if it wasn't already followed up by Saiyans.
It was just shocking that, because Cuphead is obviously...
Did it get any music? Yes, it did.
Even way smaller than Undertale, and that got in. So that was pretty cool.
I wonder how well it's received in Japan, because I know Undertale is popular in Japan as well. So it makes sense that he would do that for like both regions.
Yeah, speculation is kind of cool now that we know there's 6 more characters.
Sakurai just won't stop. He's got an obsession.
At this point, man, you've really like hit some of the big ones, and there's only like so much left.
I definitely think he's gonna be a bit more first party with these next ones, because how many more can you bring in and still stay like relevant?
But that's what I'm banking on, at least one more first party.
I don't want Master Chief.
Please
don't put Master Chief in there.
Why?
When was even the last Halo game?
Guns.
When was even the last Halo game?
A couple days ago.
Who even cares that much about Halo in the grand scheme of shooters?
Listen.
Bring in the guy from Doom.
A lot of people have been asking for Master Chief, so don't be insensitive just because you've never played Halo. I haven't either. But
bring in the guy from Doom instead. He's much more important to gaming history.
Dude, shut up.
First game engine.
Halo is a very big game. Like, very big. You're being very insensitive.
It just doesn't interest me.
Right. You're being insensitive because something doesn't interest
you. But
you.
it seems out of place as well. And so would any...
I could agree with that, but at least don't just say, it doesn't interest me, I don't want it.
Okay.
I could have said the same about Hero or Byleth, which is pretty much everybody's
Hero makes sense, okay? Now... We're simulating general Smash Bros. Discussion here.
You talked over me the whole time. All I was trying to say is I think there's going to be one more first party in the next 6. And I think it's going to... And I think it's going to be Waluigi, as I say for the third time.
Oh my goodness. I don't want Waluigi.
I 100% think it's going to be Waluigi.
The basis of his character is that nobody likes him. If we put him in Smash Bros., he loses everything that makes him special, which is that he's not special.
Sorry, I think you said everybody likes him and wants him? Everybody.
No, not everybody.
Yeah.
But the people who do like him based off of his character, and the basis of his character is that nobody likes him.
It would be a perfect...
At least canonically.
It would be a perfect Sakurai thing to drop Waluigi and...
No, because Sakurai has this running meme about how he, like, never gets in.
I think
he practically picks on him.
I think that would be funny.
But people argue because of, like I said, about the reception of Three Houses, that, like, Byleth deserved to get in, and that it's like a logical choice, but I really do think a large part of it is that Sakurai is just a Fire Emblem fanboy, because, like, think about the other characters that always get a new character.
I just had the biggest urge to press the stop button, and then I realized I can't do that while we're recording. Why? All because you started talking about Three Houses again.
I just used it as a fulcrum.
I just want to move on from
I'm wrapping up. Because think about the other franchises that get new characters every Smash Bros. You got Mario, you got Pokemon. Mario is the most well-known video game franchise in the world. Pokemon is the most profitable, like, most...
I'm sorry, what are you on about? Like, what are you trying to prove point with here?
I'll get to it.
You're taking a while.
Mario is the most popular, Pokemon is the most profitable, most widespread.
Is this about Waluigi? Are you just trying to disprove Waluigi's validity?
No, I'm moving on past Waluigi, I'm talking about Byleth now!
Okay.
And then
why are you talking about... Okay, whatever.
What are you on right now? Did you take some...
No, I just...
Think about all the...
Literally nobody cares about
I literally started this by saying it was about Fire Emblem. This is why people get upset about too many Fire Emblem characters and a new Fire Emblem character every Smash Bros. Think about the other franchises and don't say anything. Think about the other franchises that get new characters every game. You have Mario, the most popular game franchise in the world. Pokemon, the most widespread, financially successful video game franchise in the world. And then you have Fire Emblem. Like, it just doesn't seem like it deserves a new character every game. It's so much smaller compared to the others.
It's because...
So that's why it seems like Sakurai's just too big of a fan of it. And he always wants to put a new one in there.
I don't support there being that many Fire Emblem characters. But unlike the other games, which reuse the same handful, just crew of characters, Fire Emblem has a constantly growing, but still well-defined cast of characters within the games.
But
it makes sense to add one for every game. And maybe it doesn't make sense to, but it's possible. It's very easy to do so because they keep adding more characters with defined personalities. Unlike Mario, where there's not just like a new major character every game.
But the thing is, literally all but one of the Fire Emblem representation characters are... And you're going to say this makes sense, but I'm going to explain why I'm bringing this up afterwards. are the main characters of the game. And you're going to say, well, duh, of course they pick the main characters, the playable characters, the ones you play as.
You're talking about sword fighters?
But they're always sort of, I mean, they vary a little, but they have to fit a certain mold because they're that blank slate that you occupy as your playable character. So a lot of them end up being very similar. Now, Byleth is a bit different because I know Three Houses allows a lot of customization, and they expound on that with all the different weapons. And Robin was a bit different because they were a magic user. But, like, you can only get so much variance.
You know what? Everybody complains about all the sword fighters. Now you have sword, axe, magic, whatever
I know.
The weapons
it's just, some people do feel like the franchise is oversaturated in Smash. And I understand that. I
literally don't care. It's just another character. I don't know why people
I'm just arguing for
complain.
It. Like, I'm playing a bit of devil's advocate here. Or I'm sort of neutral, so I don't know if I can call it devil's advocate. I'm just putting it out there.
Well, I would argue that... Well, I mean, I already said the benefits and the drawbacks. I mean, it's just another character. How is this any different? You know, this is actually no different than Hero. In fact, this character would probably be more interesting to some people than Hero, but people are just salty because it's Fire Emblem. There's no difference. Like, people were probably just as disappointed about Hero because it's not as popular in America as it is in Japan. But you only get mad and make a meme out of it because it's Fire Emblem. And you're already salty about that because there's so many characters. I agree. So, it just seems petty to me.
Yeah, I would agree. I'm mostly just upset that it was the way they ended off the fighter pass, the initial fighter pass.
Yeah. Which I agree with. But
I was pointing out some of the points on the other side.
Well, and it also makes sense. They probably couldn't have done it earlier because the game is pretty new.
Yeah.
Anyways, next topic. Do you have another topic?
Hold on, I'm burping quietly.
Okay, should I just talk about my topic?
Oh, you can.
So you noticed when I had YouTube up, there's a lot of CallMeCarson, right?
Yeah.
So,
He your new favorite tuber?
No, in the past I've always hated him.
Why?
Not really, but let me explain.
You just have this weird thing about hating stuff. Just for
let me explain. I've talked about before how I don't really like Twitch. I don't really like streaming in general. Streaming has kind of grown on me since I made that initial statement, although I don't really ever just find the time to just sit down and watch a stream, like, at the same time that somebody's streaming. Like, I don't know. You kind of have to just be on their same schedule to be like, yeah, I'm going to sit down when they're streaming and watch them stream, which I just find a little weird. And, like, do you have a life? Do you have things that you do? Or can you just be there whenever they're streaming? But anyways, also, Twitch is a bit unfamiliar to me because I much rather watch people stream on YouTube because then it actually tells me when they're streaming and I can just click it.
I don't have anybody left who streams on YouTube.
And so Twitch, I never use Twitch, so I don't watch Twitch streamers. But so in that way, I guess I'm unfamiliar with the Twitch community and, like, the Twitch lingo and the Twitch
poggers
and whatever. Yeah, all the emotes and whatnot and the language. I mean, I have limited knowledge, but so just
get on with it.
Just naturally. Well, I'm trying to build context to why I don't.
Okay. Now, don't take even longer building context off of your context.
I'm not. I'm getting to the point now. If you
go ahead.
So the reason why I didn't like CallMeCarson, or I'm not gonna say I didn't like, I just wasn't interested in ever learning about who he was at all, other than that I knew he was a Twitch streamer, because he's like, I guess he makes YouTube videos, but I think it's mostly like just uploads of his stream, like edited stream stuff. So that's not really my genre of video that I enjoy. But, and also I've seen, like, his Twitter and stuff, and, you know, people get, like, these viral tweets with, like, 40,000 likes or whatever. And I'm just like, wow, that's actually the stupidest joke I've ever heard.
Yeah, I know.
And that always happens
with
people like,
I know make the stupidest jokes.
People like CallMeCarson. I get these random Twitter, because so many people that I know, like I guess I fit perfectly in the kind of subset of people that like CallMeCarson. So everybody that I follows CallMeCarson. So I always see stuff, like, on Twitter, people like or retweet his stuff, so I see it, and I'm like, wow, that's the stupidest joke ever. And even if it's not that dumb, it's just like, wow, that still didn't deserve that many likes. And I don't know, I kind of hate people that are like that, whose all their tweets of bad jokes just get tens of thousands of likes because they're popular.
Elsewhere.
And I'm like, man, I really don't like that because it's not funny. But maybe there's another, like, level of irony in the jokes. which I already perceived one level of irony. Obviously, all of his jokes are mostly like sarcastic or
How
ironic.
many layers of irony
But
are
I
you
think
on,
there's
bro?
I think there's an ironic layer in the ironic layer. So I watched.
Layers.
I accidentally stumbled across some
Fell down a staircase of
Call Me
layers.
Carson videos in my recommended, just from like autoplay or whatever. I don't know how I got there. Can't tell you. I don't remember. But so I watched like a small amount of Call Me Carson, but I think I quickly picked up on his sense of humor. So I now have a slightly greater respect for him.
His laugh is phenomenal.
And just because I feel like I've avoided it for too long, you know, and he's everywhere. So I feel like I have to be in on this. Like, I have to understand, to be educated on the internet. So I did my research.
I watched one of his videos.
And I watched some of his VODs, some of his VODs. What does that stand for? Do you know?
I don't know.
Video on demand? Is that what it is?
I don't know.
It's like a stream, but then it's a video from the stream. I don't know. I watched some of his VODs, or like montage, people's edited clips of them or whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, so
Compilations.
I'm now consider myself educated, but now it's all that's in my recommended is Call Me Carson.
Oh yeah, I watch him too. He's not all that makes up my recommended though, so I don't have that sort of ambush of his content like you do. You did make me forget what I was gonna say.
It's because I don't watch YouTube that much, but last night I did.
Oh yeah.
And now it's just my.
I was gonna say, one of his videos. That isn't even like a live stream of him playing a game or anything. It's just like one of those things where he's on Discord and he looks at memes with his friends. I gave one of those videos a likes just because I kept replaying the same 5-second bit of him laughing so hard that it sounded like he was dying. He just went like he sounded like he coughed up an organ, and it was just so phenomenal. I love it, and it wasn't even in anything really funny. Oh my goodness! But yeah, I like him. He's entertaining. His friends are entertaining.
Yeah, well, I think that was...
They form a posse of entertainment.
Right, that's the thing. The posse is so large, it's consuming all of the internet, so I feel like I have to be more familiar with the leaders, like Call Me Carson. Like, I know people like Wilbur Soot and Jay Schlatt. And
I heard about him before. I recently looked at some of his stuff.
Those people, but I feel like Carson is more of like more relevant compared to them. But
you actually introduced me to Schlatt. I didn't know about him before.
But they're all kind of like...
Dude, I saw a video of him feeding his pet like bearded dragon.
Yeah, that's like his first video.
Cute.
Or his only video on his channel, because he only like streams or whatever. I don't know. What was I saying? You messed me up.
You got this.
Because I watched Minecraft videos very briefly. Very briefly.
Oh yeah, because he's got his whole huge world.
And so, like, the SMP Live, like, that whole community is just, like, so branching out everywhere, consuming everything.
It's its own, like, fan base.
So it's, like, all connected everywhere. And I guess, in a way, Carson is kind of, like, the head of that. So I felt like I had to get educated, so I did my duty. Huh?
Did my duty. You said duty.
All right, that's gone on long enough. I recognize when I've gone on.
I was gonna say, and this is obviously not in my script because you made me think about it. But when you started off by saying that, like, you default to saying hate just because you didn't like. You hate Call Me Carson.
Well, right. I didn't want to say I hated him, but it's one of those things. Like, I always kind of think like a person has a bad sense of humor or is just kind of stupid until I get to know them.
Yeah. Well, see, that's it.
So it's not really that I say I hate them. I recognize that I do that. So it's not like I genuinely do. But I always kind of have this disapproval of anybody until I know them more. I guess kind of everybody sort of does that. So.
But then you default to saying you hate his memes, not just you think they're not funny. And then
that was just an exaggeration to open up the topic because I know how to make things interesting, unlike you.
I'm making a full argument here. You got to stop interrupting me. And then you were scrolling on YouTube when you brought this up because there were all the videos.
You're talking about the Toad video. That's completely unrelated.
Well, no,
that was literally
I don't
just
find
a bit.
no.
That was a bit from me to you, and that's all it was supposed to be.
Okay, if it's just a bit, I'll ignore it. But like, I feel like you have there.
Although I hate those kinds of videos.
He blacklisted it from YouTube. He said, I don't want to see this again.
The overdone. I just hit, don't recommend this video. I don't like
There were so many other cringy videos on your recommended, but you picked out that one because you had a specific thing against that. Like,
wait, what's cringy? You're going to tell me what's cringy?
I don't know.
Maybe I enjoy it, John.
Just like weird compilations of like 4chan stuff. Right. I saw one of those and then like some animation memes or something.
none of that was in my recommended. I don't.
Well,
I don't consume any of that.
That's stuff that pops up to me, and I saw it, and my brain made assumptions.
Yeah, you probably watched the 4chan videos, Jonathan.
I saw it. There was a Pepe. Bum bum bum.
That could be Twitch.
Yeah. No, it wasn't Twitch. It wasn't Twitch because there was like text.
Okay.
Well,
But 4chan meme maybe, but I don't know. I didn't even see that.
This is way off track now, though.
No, I know. We don't need to talk about this, but it was a video of Toad singing Country Roads, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen like the Toad Bohemian Rhapsody or whatever. I hate overdone memes like this that weren't funny to begin with, where they just sing a song.
Just ignore them. They're still funny to some people.
The Toad voice, and they go, "Country Roads, take me home." Like that's
I
so
gave a like
unfunny.
to one of those videos. I thought it was funny.
And it's just... But the problem is that people just do... Maybe it was funny the very first time because it was something new. But people just ride off this same meme. And they're like, I'm going to make it sing this song. That's funny, right? I'm going to make it sing this song. Let me ask you something. That's funny, right?
This is off of what I was originally trying to get to. But if that were the first of that kind of video you had seen, would you be so bothered? Your job when a meme becomes oversaturated is not to hate it because it's not objectively bad in that state. It's just to ignore it because you're not interested
That's
anymore.
exactly what I did.
Well,
I just said don't recommend it.
But then you're showing so much disgust towards it, even now, the way you're talking. Just ignore it.
Well, effectively, that's what I'm doing. I didn't.
But this is.
I don't understand what you're saying.
This is the topic I was trying to get to.
This is just one instance of me explaining why I normally do ignore those memes. Let me explain something. On Instagram, I have stopped liking posts altogether. I don't like posts anymore.
Whoa.
And sometimes, occasionally, I'll
Strong
like
will.
a personal post, like from somebody I know, if it's something really entertaining or interesting. But like on the explore page, like memes on Instagram, I don't like anything anymore. First
I
of
don't
all,
like anything
because
anymore. I want to take that out of context.
Some of them are dank, and I do find them funny, but they're really obscure, and I don't want people finding that I like them because I think that makes me look weird.
Didn't Twitter stop doing that thing where it shows your likes to everyone?
That was Instagram.
Oh.
Well, on Instagram, you used to be able to click on your following list and scroll, and it would just show you a feed of everybody and then liking posts. And that was always funny because you'd see that one person that's addicted to Instagram, and it would be 90% of your feed. But they got rid of that. But you can still see if somebody liked a post, and you also it also shows up for you, and you're...
Oh, yeah, it says blank liked
also
this too.
liked by blank and how many others.
And you don't... Well, if they gave it a like, though, then that means they would get it. And then they wouldn't have a problem with knowing that you got it, too.
Yeah, but if they stumbled upon it by chance and it was like a not funny, didn't laugh meme, because, like, I find a lot of memes that show up to me, but I still...
I wouldn't be so worried about that.
I don't find them funny.
You do you.
Well, I do. My opinions on some people have changed because I see the kinds of memes they like.
Really?
Really.
Interesting.
Not on a deep level. I'm like, okay, our humor's not that compatible then.
Okay, yeah, I was about to say. But... what I was trying to say is I feel like there's two types
But my humor is versatile, so I don't want to put it into a box to anybody else. That's why I don't like them. But
I didn't
if
you want to show that it's versatile, you show that by liking various levels of dank memery.
Well, now I just only...
If you don't like any, then that shows people that you have no sense of humor.
I like occasional, but... Well, no, because they'll never know the difference if I like or don't. They'll never see it.
Yeah.
Then. But I only like stuff. I do occasionally, but it's only when it's like safe, normie stuff. So, but maybe I guess you could say that's bad too.
Yeah, then that makes you look like a normie.
But see, the people who see the normie stuff and the dank stuff, probably it won't collide that much.
I'm worried I'll look too dank. I'm worried I'll look too normie. What do I do?
Stop liking posts on Instagram. This is a PSA. But no, I also stopped liking stuff because most of it isn't funny anymore. I like humor on the internet is just... Maybe it's an unfair thing to say this, but I feel like it's just totally fallen to pieces.
Dude, you just keep feeding into what I'm about to say, and then you interrupt it before I can say it.
Well, let me explain myself. Meme culture has gotten to the point where, like, I don't know how to explain it. Memes were funny at first, and now it's like the joke is to have something be overdone. But to me, that's not... To me, that's not funny. To some people, it might be.
You're preaching to the choir, my dude.
So either it's that the general sentiment of memes, or maybe the people, like, taking control of memes, like maybe it's a slightly younger generation than my age now.
Of course, memes are always the youngest generation.
So either that,
young people always
either the memes are falling away, or my sense of humor is changing / developing / maturing to where I don't find certain things funny anymore. Like, I don't find random humor that funny anymore. Unless it's something, like, really bizarre. In which case, it could be funny.
I don't find random humor funny anymore unless it's really random, you know?
Kinda. If you don't go all the way, it's not funny. Like those surreal memes with, like, that 3D model of the guy's face, and it just says, like, Orang.
Stonks.
And it's supposed to be, like, random funny, but it's, like, not... No. It
Yeah,
needs
I
to be
agree.
something bizarre, like this random video found on a VHS tape in a dumpster from 2003.
It's not random if it's the same random that was random the first time, re-randomized.
Right. The first time I saw one of those, like, surreal memes, maybe it would have been funny. But now it's the same concept. Like, I'm talking the most obscure advertisements from, like...
Yes. Those are
Czechoslovakia from, like,
no, that
2011.
was funny. The Lego City, a man has fallen into the river in Lego City.
Hey! Build the helicopter!
I love it. I actually love that because I remember those commercials. It, like, hit me.
It took me a while. I was like, what is that from?
I have heard that. That hey, that's good voice acting.
What I started seeing at first was just...
Hey is, like, my favorite
where people were
exclamation.
saying somebody's fallen into the river in Lego City. I saw that in memes all over. And then it wasn't until I heard the audio once and I was like, that's where it's from. It's from that advertisement. I remember that now from my childhood. Go ahead. Tell me why I'm wrong.
Finally, I get to speak.
There's, like,
during that last pause when Jason interrupted me, that
There's,
pause
like,
was me clenching my fist.
There's some eyeball crust on your nose.
Oh, no, really?
Other
Which side?
side.
Dude, thanks.
You
I
got
wouldn't
it.
want anyone to see that.
You got it. I
Winks
know.
into the microphone.
Right, that's why I didn't mention it, but it's getting annoying to look at you. and
Okay.
have it.
Well, you got 3 pimples, a constellation on your nose.
I
so.
do. I can't wipe those away.
Anyways, I was gonna say I feel like there's 2 types of people in this world: those who like try to identify themselves by things they like, and those who try to identify themselves by things they don't like.
I hate both. I hate all people. I hate the human civilization.
Well, now we know which one you are. I was about to say I feel like
I'm
you.
kidding. That was the joke.
I feel like you aren't the second one,
was the
but you're
joke.
leaning towards it.
That was the joke.
Because every time I talk to you,
That was the joke.
no. But I'm saying aside from that, even before you said that,
You're getting heated about me.
even before you said that, I don't think you are that second kind of person, but I think you're leaning towards it.
You call me a terrible person, like, on the daily.
No. Because think about this. I want you defaulted to saying you hate stuff you don't like. Every time we get on the podcast, you're like, I don't like superheroes. I don't like this. I don't like that.
Okay.
And every time I talk to you about a video game, you're like, that game's cringy. That game's
You have to let me...
overhyped.
You have to let me defend this one by one so I don't forget anything. What was the first thing you said was the hate thing. Like I said...
This is going to go on so long.
Like I said, no...
Keep them brief, bro.
It's quick because I can quickly shut down. Like, I'm going to go full Ben Shapiro on you. First of all, I said hate, as I already said, simply as an exaggeration to get my point across quickly and just as a hook for the subject that I was going to talk about. Something entertaining.
No, I'm shaking my head, but you keep going, because I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying it doesn't prove anything, but you keep going.
Why would I hate a random person who I don't know? I immediately, after saying that, clarified and explained that I didn't say I hate him.
Ben Shapiro me.
Next, the superhero thing. I've always said I don't like superheroes. I don't find them entertaining. I just think that it's childish to me. It's just not something that I find that entertaining. I think the characters can be cool sometime, but most of the time it's repetitive, and I've just never gotten into comic books, superhero movies, anything like that. I'll watch the Avengers movies, and like Spiderman specifically is my favorite superhero, just because it's part of, it's a common part of culture, especially the Avengers movies. But literally since I was in like 3rd grade, my friends would talk about superheroes, and I would always say, I don't know anything you're talking about because I don't like superheroes. So this is nothing new.
And that's justified.
Right, so I'm not being cynical about that.
But here's the thing.
The video games thing, I literally have I have no idea what you're talking about. I've never done that. Now you can continue.
Here's the thing. I'm not saying the people who do have this personality type actually hate these things. They just feel like talking about how they don't like it.
Yeah.
Even if it's over-exaggerated, is like an easy way to like make friends or express themselves.
I'm not going to say hate. I dislike those people as well. I know what you're talking about. Those people that just hate stuff because it's fun to hate it.
Yes. So like I feel
and I'm
like
not one of them.
I feel like you're leaning towards it.
I'm such a this sounds so weird, but I'm sorry. I'm a nice person. Like I actually am.
I'm not saying he's not.
And like
that's why I'm careful to use the term lean.
I've always
lean.
Like I grew up in an environment where it was just be nice. Like why not? Like I was just raised to be a polite person, and be a positive person. And I think I'm a pretty darn positive person. So compared to the other people on the internet, I'm so much more positive than them, and so much less cynical and all these things that you're claiming I'm leaning towards. And while I may
You're sounding a bit egotistical now, but I believe
I know,
you.
That's why I'm saying it's weird for me to say
I'm sorry for putting you in this position.
But for you to
I wasn't trying to
for you to
accuse
say
you.
that, maybe just because it's a sarcastic nature that I put on as a joke.
Yeah.
Because I am very sarcastic. But I'm not genuinely like that. Like, as a person, genuinely, I'm actually very positive, and I tend to think, even then, when I was defending Byleth being in Smash Bros., you were going on more of a tirade than me about that. You were being more negative than me. So, that's just proof.
But, that's why I say, because I've heard people say stuff like, if everything you do is ironic, then it's not ironic anymore. And that's just how you are. So if you're constantly having this ironic persona, it's not ironic anymore.
Yeah, talk to somebody like Michael, like one of my best friends, or even you, who knows me more personally. I mean, I guess outwardly to people a lot, I tend to be sarcastic just because, especially if
I don't think
connect
you've
with
reached
them
that level where you've been consumed by irony.
Humor is the easiest...
But it's a warning.
Humor is the easiest way to quickly connect with a stranger.
And I feel like your humor is to insult stuff.
And so I guess maybe in some way that's part of my persona. I wouldn't say really that, because I don't really think that's that funny, just making fun of stuff as a joke. I've never thought that was funny. But maybe I do that sometimes as part of my, I guess, humor persona. But I don't think I really come across that way that often to most people. And maybe it's more to you than other people, but you don't see me around other people a lot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't have that many other people that I talk with.
Yeah, because I genuinely hate you, so that makes sense.
Oh my goodness.
There's the sarcasm.
But yeah, I just feel like between the two of us, you're more that personality type. I only like to really talk about the things I like. There are people who legitimately bond by saying stuff like, "Oh, that those people who like that are so cringy." You
talked about how you didn't like Byleth.
TikTok is so cringy. These YouTube animators are so edgy. They're so dumb. All these memes are lame.
You talked about Byleth,
and they bond over that.
For often.
I was playing devil's advocate, and I'm happy.
Where's the line where devil's advocate becomes who you are, Jonathan?
When you specify that it's devil's advocate.
When you're our sister.
Huh. That was me swallowing saliva from talking too much.
Yeah,
But yeah, if people were to talk to me and be like, "Oh, I like that movie too. Oh, I like that video game too," I wouldn't be like, "Oh yeah, those people are cringy. Oh yeah, that meme's too dumb." There are people who legitimately bond that way, whereas I prefer to talk about things that I feel positively about.
No, I don't like the phrase like, "Wow, we hate the same things."
And they would never admit it, but there are people who do that. I'm not talking about you anymore, by the way. I'm talking about just general.
If you hate the same things, it doesn't really mean you like the same things.
Yeah, but I mean, there are, look at people who are bonded together by, political stuff. They're always talking about these so-and-so groups, and we're not going to get into this, but you know what I mean.
Well, I don't like anybody that politically agrees with anybody else simply because they disagree with the same thing, if that makes sense.
But there are people out there
that's willing to accept any other person's stance or beliefs on anything without even thinking about it, just because they both disagree on one issue that kind of groups them together.
And that's not 100% what I'm saying. But there are people who, their stance is that they disagree with another stance.
I guess in a less dodging around the subject way, I don't think, as far as political parties, Democrats, Republicans, or liberals and conservatives, this goes both ways. I don't think anybody within those parties should just conform to everybody else in the party just because that's who. Yeah. Don't make that your identity.
Don't make that mistake.
Don't fit into a column of disagree with this, agree with this, just because you're a conservative or you're a liberal.
Be willing to make
form your own opinions.
Yes.
And maybe you have
an individual.
Maybe you have an off the wall opinion.
Yes.
For whatever reason, because of your life experiences. Embrace
Be that. Unless it involves starting a cult, don't do that. Please.
Okay, that's a political... Okay, you're getting political.
No, I was mostly joking.
We're marking this video as for kids. Kids join cults. They're very good. They give you free food.
Dude, are you still not worried about COPPA?
Not at all.
It is. It's marking old videos that people are no longer keeping track of, and that obviously couldn't mark themselves as not made for kids, are already being marked as made for kids. And here's the thing why that worries me.
There's literally a 0% chance that we would in any way be affected by this. And maybe that's selfish because other people will. But
I agree. But I
don't think there's any reason
here's
for us to worry
Here's how it affects me as a viewer. Those videos get blacklisted. So a video that I could
That's
really
not
enjoy.
True. That's not true.
Yes, it does.
I've run across many YouTube videos that are for YouTube Kids.
But, well,
It may recommend them less, but
I thought that the reason why that was happening to me was because I was looking on my account that doesn't have a YouTube account.
I looked up
so it didn't know my age.
I looked up the Buzz Lightyear. I looked up the. It does know your age.
Yeah, Google
Gmail
knows everything.
I looked up that Buzz Lightyear meme, the meme that we were looking for, and the second result was a video that was marked as for kids. It was a little Lego stop motion with Buzz Lightyear.
Well, that's actually good then, because...
So, I don't think it's really blacklisting them in any way to adult viewers. Kids viewers, yes, it's blacklisting adult videos, that's the point. But I don't think it's vice versa.
Okay, that's what I had heard at one point, and that was the main thing I was worried about. Because it's one thing if you put a video out there and you don't get paid for it. But obviously, if you're putting a video out there, at the bare minimum, you want people to see it. And so then if it gets, like, blacklisted, that's terrible for everyone.
But something like the podcast, it's not going to get COPPA'd.
I got some bright colors in my illustrations, bro.
But it's...
It looks like something you'd see in, like, a magazine.
It's clearly not for kids.
No, but I was joking anyway.
Especially considering the fact that it's just mostly a still frame for the entire video.
Yeah. Well,
kids aren't going to find that entertaining.
Yeah. Pretty colors. Look, Mom, pretty colors.
So, no, I'm not worried about that at all. What were we talking about? I don't think we were talking about anything. That's fine. It's almost time to end it.
Yeah, if you wanna. I was going to say that
pick a brief
it is
one.
Martin Luther King Jr. Day today.
Yes.
Represent.
Love black people.
Represent. Okay, that's a bit...
That wasn't sarcastic. You can't read me. Dude.
No. Well, it was sarcastic, but it was a facetious, like...
I love all people.
Simplification.
Well, yes.
Equality rules.
Martin Luther King
Civil rights.
Jr. is not the only black person. I should clarify that.
Okay, this has just become surreal now. Like, I don't even know what we're talking about. But it's been a great extended weekend for me. I went to a bookstore with my family, and we got so many books. Kaylin got so many books because she's a bookaholic. And here's the thing. I actually like to read, but I haven't had the time to read in so long because I don't even have the time to play video games anymore. And I'll elaborate on that. Because I could have played video games all day today, but I chose to do other things. But I got books too. I got 2 books on...
in the fresh heck?
What?
The knuckle on this finger is like numb.
Dude, my whole arm went numb yesterday.
That means, and that's your left arm, so that's a heart attack.
Well, I feel it now.
Continue.
It wouldn't have gone away if it was a heart attack, right?
Right. Well, it could mean like a temporary like clottage.
It was more like nerve numbness. Like, it wasn't like fall asleep.
You're not going to die.
And it was only on the back side.
I'll do a special...
I'm sorry, I want your diagnosis.
I'll do a 10-hour podcast for you.
10-hour podcast. Jonathan dies live on the podcast.
It'll be up by next year, probably.
I got 2 books on King Arthur, which is like my favorite like mythology. I love the legend, Arthurian
legend. And
based
on his claim that he doesn't have time to play video games, he's never going to read them.
I'll read them when I'm out of college, which I'm on my last semester. Hopefully last semester.
Man, I wish that was true for me. I got one.
You're not even in college yet. Jason was talking about
college.
Jason was talking about how season 5 of the podcast is going to be insane. I was like, why then? And he was like, because we'll both be out of college by then. And I was like, oh.
School. Once again.
You're not going to college.
It's in a year. I'm assuming the 5th season will be in roughly a year. Although it could be like 4 by then. I don't know when.
I mean, there's like 13 episodes to a season.
Oh, is that the number?
And that's one every week, but we always miss at least a few.
Oh, we're nearing on that number.
Really?
We're not even at 20.
We're past that. That's why we're in season 2.
No, we're not even at 20.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're past the first season. We're nowhere near the third.
This must be this is 19, right? You should know these things. You should know.
I think it might be 18.
I think no.
I feel embarrassed because it already showed it.
You got to do something fancy for the.
We got to go 20th. Outside. Sorry, we haven't done that yet. It's really. You know what? Since I'm talking about how we haven't done this, you put in a random apostrophe. Since we haven't talked about it yet, we might as well. I might as well say now what I mean when I say I'm too busy to even play video games.
Oh, it is 18.
Yes, I was right. I thought 19 sounded too big. What was I going to say? Oh yes, when I say I'm too busy, I mean that there are things I prioritize over it, and not all of those things are even things I have to do. Obviously, schoolwork is something I have to do, but one of those things that I don't have to do that I am prioritizing is actually making my own content, because one day I want to be a content creator, but that's way future. Well, not way future. At one point, it was the most recent thing I was working on, but now it's been usurped by me making game demos for Jason that I was supposed to finish last week, but now they're on an indefinite timeline because you know what? I got really into the games that I'm making, and I want to make an actual demo. Not like literally just like a test room that you can jump around in. Like an actual, like if you were to put this up in stands and say, here's
what
my
if
game.
you put this much effort into the game consistently? It's almost like you would have finished by now.
It's almost like
Not
I
really.
would have failed college by now.
Yeah,
you can't deny that.
I don't know why it's any different now, though.
Because it just started up.
Okay.
I will inevitably not be able to work on this very soon, and I probably won't finish it by that time.
I'm just waiting for the day that you admit that you've
I've been doing college work too over this weekend, though.
Yeah,
you realize that, right?
But there's been many breaks that you haven't worked, like all of the beginning of Christmas break. I know you're doing podcast stuff as well. But
oh yeah, I focused way too much on the podcast, which
saying,
I feel embarrassed to say on the podcast because now I feel like I'm saying that I neglected. But yeah,
neglected. I'm
accepting some of my own bad character traits right now. I'm sorry. This is never good for me. It's good for me as a person to accept this and establish it.
I'm just saying you've done what I do with YouTube, which is
become better.
Either something comes up and then you have to take a long break, or you just
dude. When I'm out of college, I will literally rule the world. You just everything will be in the palm of my hand.
It's literally, a tweet I made on Twitter. I said the thing that I just said to you last night. School is just a ploy to help dumb kids evade natural selection. It's just, okay, listen. I could leave school right now and be successful. School exists to help people that can't be successful by themselves be successful. I think we shouldn't have school. That way the kids that are naturally successful will be successful and pass on intelligent traits to their offspring because they're successful.
Here's the thing. I don't think it's right.
That was completely morally wrong. It was all a joke.
Okay.
Don't take
because I was about to say, but
I'm just saying.
Here's my actual point, and
if I dropped out of school right now, I'd be so much more successful.
I don't think this counts as political because it's kind of like almost sci-fi hypothetical. But I think if we have the ability to keep everyone, alive regardless of their earnings. Now, I still think people should not. I'm not asking for communism here. Sorry if you support communism.
I don't think we should adapt human life to how successful they are in a man-made world.
Yeah.
I don't think we should adapt humans to be able to survive well in capitalism because capitalism isn't a natural thing.
Yes.
So,
but here's what I ask.
That's why I disagree with what I just said.
While we keep these people allowed to live in this society regardless of their skill,
I like how you're calling this is really elitist. These people, the unsuccessful ones.
Well, no, because I'm about to say they're not necessarily unsuccessful. Our way
you just haven't discovered their success, and I think there's
a dumb person isn't a useless person. They can be artistically creative. They can be athletes. They can be hardworking physically.
The word "dumb" doesn't really make sense. I mean, I guess unless you're talking about no, I don't know.
You can be dumb in one subject and smart in another too.
Exactly.
And in school, you're expected to juggle topics.
That's why I don't like our education system.
But you shouldn't,
as cliche as that sounds.
Yeah.
I totally support general education up until high school, but I think at some point you got to start letting people do the things that they're good at and not just keep pounding math into their brain if they're not good at math. I'm good at math. That's fine with me. But I think you're just ruining kids' lives that aren't talented at math and science and whatever.
But I do think
that could actually be doing something good with their life, and instead they're just being told they're a failure.
The devil's advocate I do have, though, is there's a lot of people who, in that kind of world, math to a certain level is an important just life skill.
Yeah, that's why I definitely think it should be educated still.
But there will in a world then where it becomes clear that hey, if you're not that good at math, you don't have to do math. There will always be kids who just don't like math, and they'll feign not being good at it, or accept that they're not good at it when they could be better, and then just move on, and then they'll lose a valuable life skill.
Well, you know what? That's fine if they think they're better at something else. I mean, if they are better at something else, then let them do that. I'm just saying they could be missing out. I'm just saying at the very least, I think...
I'm not fully for this argument or against it, I think it's valuable.
Like, a kid isn't that good at math, he gets a B, and his parents are like, wow, you're not supposed to make a B. I hate you. And from there, it just spirals down to the kid losing confidence and just thinking they're... I'm not going to be dramatic and say that they think they're a failure, but I think it just leads to them being more apathetic about school, and then from there, just everything falls away, and they just lose appreciation for learning in general just because they think they're not good at it. And that's something agree. That's wrong.
I think this is the closest we've gotten to a political topic on the podcast.
I don't even think it's that political.
It kind of is. I mean, there's a lot of people who have opinions about the educational system, and they can get kind of dicey.
But I think what I just said is just human. I'm just analyzing human nature, just psychology. I'm not saying what should be done. I'm not saying anything should be done. I'm not taking any sides or stance on this.
I just think we should not have a college system that eventually makes me think that staying up for 2 days in a row is a good idea. But that might just be me being dumb. I told you about how I did that. I stayed up for a whole 48 hours.
College is like
Did not sleep once.
Mandatory rite of passage that is very expensive. You could not go to college, and you could literally go to college and leave college and have barely gained any knowledge. And what happened college, in that span of time? Knowledge. You lost tens of thousands of dollars. You're tens of thousands of dollars in debt. You have a degree now. Great. You might be able to get a good job. Maybe if we just recognize that people can have talents without having a piece of paper saying they have talents, a certification. Maybe if we just applied and actually tested their skills by any other means. I don't know. I just think there's better ways to prove that you're intelligent. Build a good portfolio. I don't think a degree should be the end-all for getting a decent, what they consider a proper job. That's just my opinion, but I'm not going to college, so it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter for me.
What was this, whatever school that you were thinking of going to?
Job. What, NCSSM?
NCSSM? Yeah, that.
North Carolina School of Science.
That's like early college.
I just said North Carolina. No,
they know we're in North Carolina. We said that 20 times.
I know.
Speaking of 20,
I'm joking.
It's 1/20/2020, which is why we're letting this video go to 1 hour, 20 minutes, and 20 seconds.
No, let's end it.
No, actually, but I was gonna say this funny story while we were on the topic of college.
Special 1 hour 30-minute cast to make up for the other one that we missed.
It does make sense because we missed a day. By the way, speaking of,
I keep crossing my legs.
We're not recording. We're recording late day wise. This is the day before.
I don't know
why.
But
we're not recording late time wise. It's not the late evening.
Oh yeah, it's morning, which is why this might be a better in quality podcast.
Yes, dude. Yes.
I keep crossing my legs, and I don't know why. I've developed the habit accidentally, and I think it's
full cross.
Mega. I'm my legs are getting sore because I'm physically squeezing them together. I think it's because I was wearing these shorts that are too tight on me, and so I couldn't really.
Now you just feel free.
I couldn't really man spread, so I ended up getting my legs closer together because they were tight, and then naturally I just started sitting cross-legged. And now it's just from one day I've gotten into a habit. I keep sitting cross-legged, and I can't break it because I don't realize it happens.
Do a full split.
But it hurts my balls to high heavens. And it's not conscious. I'm not conscious. I want to keep them spread, but I keep crossing them.
I'm looking at your mouth movements as you say that, and they're so over-exaggerated. It's animated. You're just my balls hurt.
To high heaven. That's how you do commentary, Jonathan. You have to... Commentary is acting on some level.
I told you this.
You did?
Yes.
When? Well, I mean, I probably didn't disagree.
I was talking to you about all the elements of acting. I was talking about if it's in person, there's facial expressions, there's delivery, but then there's also the way the emotion is displayed.
Dude, commentary. I mean, maybe I was naive, and I don't.
Maybe I was naive.
I don't think I disagreed with that. I'm not.
You probably just didn't take a mental note of it.
Well,
we're both actors. We're brilliant.
What I'm gaining from more and more...
Me and Jason, we put together a video, and we were the only ones who could act.
What I'm gaining from more and more YouTube experience, I guess, is I'm getting better at commentary, I guess is what I was trying to say. And it is so much acting as far as you have to sound excited all the time. You did
a little eyebrow wiggle just then.
I know. You have to sound happy all the time. You try to make the more facial expressions they get you
that you can't see because this is a podcast,
right? But
you just look dumb.
Either way, making those facial expressions exaggerated makes you feel like you're fitting the character.
I love exaggerated facial expressions,
and it helps you act. That's what they say, when you're singing or acting, to make the facial expressions, because it helps drive home the point.
Yeah,
and even subconsciously, it makes you more fit that emotion that you're trying to convey. And I'm not saying
it helps even if no one sees the expressions. Charles Martinet, the voice of the Mario Brothers, he does all sorts of stuff. He acts out. I saw an interview with him.
Voice actors, absolutely, because they're trying to convey that emotion.
Yes,
just
it just puts them in the zone.
And I'm not trying to say commentary is insincere, but like at least like 30% of the laughs that you hear from your favorite YouTubers are probably fake. Because when you record a video every day and edit it, I mean, at some point it's not going to be
hurts.
It's not going to be that funny anymore, which is why a lot of people have to take breaks. But a lot of that is acting, and they overreact to make the video interesting. And it's not necessarily bad. It's just what you have to do to make it more interesting. But I like to think people are entertained by people because of their personality as well. And maybe some of that is acting, but
don't fake your personality.
I think that
because you don't want to be famous for being not you.
I think your personality always shows through in the end, unless you're like, really, really David Dobrik.
I don't know. I've heard that name. I don't know who that is, but that name is fun. Sounds fun to say. David Dobrik.
Famous vlogger. Probably only popular because he's cute.
Vloggers. I was going to say we're on this topic.
I'm not going to say I hate David Dobrik once again if I knew more about him.
I don't know who he is.
Once again, if I knew more about him, I probably wouldn't dislike him.
Never heard of the guy.
I just feel like he just has like this fan base, which is all young females who are like, wow, he's hot. I love this guy.
Oh my goodness, I hate that.
And I didn't want to say that because we just talked about the whole, that culture.
But it's not so much I hate those people. I hate that culture.
Yeah, it's like the same.
It's not healthy.
It's his fans, from what I've seen, at least, fits perfectly with stan culture, which disgusts me. Literally disgusts me.
When I first heard about stans, I was like, what? So you just devote your whole life to this other person? Like, almost religiously? Like, what?
It's disgusting.
And I was like, yeah, that's like... Don't idolize these people. Don't make your personality being that you're a fan of another personality.
Just like every internet word, it's devolved completely. Now people say stuff like, we stan drinking water every day.
Stan!
Dude, don't even get me started on the drink water meme.
Stan!
Dude.
Look at that waveform.
That was probably horrific.
Why is it so one-sided?
Because it was all bass.
Bass.
Actually, it should have been all treble.
Bass drop.
That was pretty high pitched, wasn't it? It's just because you got so close and it went in the mic.
The sock did something.
Yeah, I hate the drink water meme. Like
it started off wholesome enough.
I get that.
I guess it's annoying.
But now it's like the whole self-care thing, and I hate self-care.
I hate self-care.
Well, I hate
If you care about yourself,
dude,
I hate you.
This is another one of those things where you can't carry a conversation with it because you don't have Instagram, or Twitter. Instagram or Twitter, you see these posts. Instagram, it's mostly reposted tweets, and it's like these self-care things. Put an avocado on your skin before bed to help clear up your pimples.
That's not even self-care. That's just like those myths.
It's
that people try to pass as life hacks.
It's almost all just fake life hack skincare. It's hard to really explain the culture, but it gets very annoying.
There's always just like this thing that evolves from these things. There's just like this. It's almost like whenever something becomes a trend, the end result of it is almost as if a computer attached onto that trend and is trying to automatically generate more of it.
Yeah,
it's like
it kind of is.
Avocado, face, self-care, publish, send to public. This is funny, right?
Stuff like them talking about, like, don't stay on social media too long, or get off your phone before bed, it helps you sleep. And it's like coming from these people who are probably literally on their phone 24/7 and addicted to social media. So it's just like...
And if they were coming from anybody else in a different context, you'd probably be like, okay, boomer.
It seems like self-righteous, I think.
Yeah.
It's like they're preaching how to live a good life when they probably don't even follow that themselves.
Yeah, man. Maybe... What if all this is just a cry for help? They're trying to say these things to themselves.
It's almost like it is.
Dude, it is. We need to get psychologists mobilized. Get on these folks.
They're reposting it like it's their New Year's resolutions that they're struggling to follow.
Bro, we just figured it out. We solved it.
Don't even get me started on New Year's resolutions. It's a joke now to just have no willpower to stick to your resolutions. Like, it's...
Willpower is the most important thing.
I don't know. It's just pathetic how American society has just made it a joke to be apathetic and lazy. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't like that. That's not a good mindset.
Maybe that sounded like really, really like radical and stupid. But I really feel like a lot of people have just... It's a running joke now, just literally to be lazy and be like, the chips are so far away.
Yeah,
me eating
people
chips.
just
I
make
eat
me-
chips all day.
Yeah, that's like the most relatable thing they put in the relatable memes these days. It's like when you want to do something, but you can't move your body.
Yeah, you literally can't, and you just eating potato
when your
chips.
friends want to hang out, but you'd rather just lay on the couch.
Like,
I'm busy.
Yeah, that is a part of humans' nature, but maybe
you should probably
it's something that we
do
shouldn't-
something about
Yeah,
it.
we shouldn't romanticize that. That's a bad trait. Like, we all do experience that. Maybe glorify or romanticize the fact that we can get over that and be successful and be motivated.
Yeah, there's a fine line between relatability and like encouragement.
And self-care.
Or apathy.
Self-care takes that too far, and then it's like self-righteous and petty
Avocado
and
on
superficial.
face. This is wholesome.
I guess we're just doing an hour and a half now. I'm fine with that. We have a bit more
the
to talk
plan
about.
was 1:20:20.
Honestly, we could do 2 hours
To match
right
the
now.
date.
I don't even care.
But the thing is, even if it was 1:20:20, the actual podcast video wouldn't be 1:20:20.
I'm enjoying this podcast a bit
more.
more.
Yes, dude. Yes, dude. Yes, because it is morning.
Yeah, probably.
And also
And because I don't feel like I'm busy
Because
today.
I dropped a few one-liners at the beginning because I was trying to be a better commentator. And you know what? I've realized that I've always been a good commentator. This actually isn't a surprise to me. I think you said it too.
No.
I get nervous about trying to, especially when I know I'm not going to edit this. I don't want to take anything out.
The podcast has built up our commentating skills.
Yes, I'm standing up.
What is it? Commentating? That sounds weird.
Commentative skills?
I want to say commenting, but that's obviously not right.
Commenting. Commentator?
No, yeah, the what is it called? The podcast.
You actually couldn't find the word?
Has built up our commentate.
Oh wait, I gotta tell you guys. Jason's just been having like so much trouble speaking lately, and usually that's my thing.
The podcast has built our commentative skills so much.
And now you're doing the thing I do, which is when I do slip up, I like try to keep the slip up ingrained, and it usually turns into an accent. Like sometimes I'll mess up and it'll say something weird, and then I just like keep rolling with it. It turns into a country accent or like a British accent. That's a bad British
That's a weird
accent.
phenomenon where I almost said everybody does that, but I don't know if they do because I do pick up a lot of things from being around you.
Yeah,
so
I
don't
actually
know.
feel like a lot of verbal slip ups are people wanting to say something in a certain way that is out of place. Like they don't actually say the wrong thing; they say it with the wrong almost inflection or what's the word? Context.
I said I said Palmcast
Linguistic
because I was
context.
thinking of commentating. So I just
I could tell you just blended up those words there.
because I was still thinking about that.
But what I was going to talk about, well, here I can talk about this because it's a bit more relevant now. I thought of it when we were trying to like talk over each other, and I just said something. You were just talking, and I said something like confirmative, like you were like saying. So I did this, and I was like, yeah, I get it. I said something like that, and you like looked at me like, don't interrupt me, and I was like, okay.
Well, because sometimes you talk louder than I do, and you don't realize that it might cover up what I'm
I realize the volume is a big part, but you know what? I really want to move to Japan. I was waiting for you to smile because I know that sounds weird out of context. Let me attach the two distant points.
Ooh, this is commentating. You're building up with a hook, and now you're gonna.
I watched a video that was talking about norms of Japanese like social stuff, and in Japan, it's actually considered rude to just sit and listen to someone's conversation. You're supposed to talk with them. So they'll be like, "So I went to the store." I was like, "Oh, you went to the store, really?" And like as they're still talking, like you just like you interject little bits to like show that like it's almost like you're taking notes out loud. And that's considered polite. It's rude to not do that. And I do that all the time. I didn't even know that was a thing. I thought that was rude everywhere. Dude, I will be free in Japan. I do that all the time.
I think Americans do that to some extent, but you tend to distract from the conversation instead of helping it flow.
Well, yes, I know that's a problem. But I mean, I feel like at least in a culture like that,
Like
they'd
what you
understand
just
what I'm
said,
trying to do.
They're like trying to help bridge the conversation,
Yes.
whereas you tend to just distract it and derail it.
But that's not my intent, and I feel like they'd at least get where I'm coming from in a place like that.
Maybe
First, I have to learn to speak their language.
go
though.
to Japan and learn. You have to learn how to do it right. You have to learn.
I'm over exaggerating though. Japan. If I had to be anywhere in the world besides America, it would be Japan though. And if World War III starts, then I'm already going there.
Only if it was a rural part of Japan, like the Japanese fields.
There used to be places in Europe I wanted to go, and then every single one of them got ruined for me somehow. I can't.
All of Europe is too concentrated.
I might like to visit Italy, but I wouldn't want to stay there.
Too much city for me in Europe because it's.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be cool.
Well, what's left? You want to go to Africa?
It would be cool to drive.
That's me. I'm South African.
What's cool about Europe would be to drive.
I made a reference, and now I don't get to explain it. You go.
Europe, what would be cool about Europe is to be able to drive less than the distance of states in America and be in a different country. That would be cool. I mean, people go on vacation to like the next country over, and it takes like 10 minutes.
Yeah, it makes you realize how impressive it is that the United States is the United States, not the United Countries, like the United Kingdoms of.
Yeah.
It's impressive. I like that sense of unity that's slowly falling apart.
And I was just thinking about this, like, geographically. U.S. is really separated from most of the other world powers. Like, Mexico is pretty good economy, but it's not really a world power.
Yeah, the world powers are usually in Asia or Europe, and they're on the other
Canada is large,
hemisphere.
Large, but not super populated, and the economy isn't, like, super great. It's not terrible. But, like, the world powers are, like, Russia, China, India, especially based on population. So, like, U.S. is really separated, which is very interesting.
America has a lot of interesting, unique stuff going for it, mostly in their measurement systems. They got their miles and their feet and their different units of all that.
That's just proudness right there.
Yes. Well, no, I mean, imagine if overnight they just say, okay, everybody's got to use meters now. And then all the people who took physics are like, yes, I already know what that means.
We're too far gone now.
Yeah, I want to, because I already use them in physics. So much
easier. It's 10.
Yeah, I know. And they I've just been like looking at stuff, and I've been thinking, this like doesn't seem right in inches. Like they're just better units of measurement without context of what goes into them either. Like I feel like a meter is like a good base measurement. Like a foot, you can't describe so easily like what a foot is. A meter is like, you can say, well, the average person is a bit below 2 meters tall.
I want to make.
And so then I can visualize like a tall person and be like, half of him is roughly a meter.
I want to make a metric simulator where you just recreate all of America and flip a switch and see what would happen if we changed all of our measurements, like all of the feet to meters. Yes. Like I feel like it would be funny to see.
It's like those things you're supposed to have where you can like scan on your phone. We passed 2020, where you can scan on your phone and it automatically translates it. And I'm sure it doesn't work that well.
It would be funny to see how fast, or like in a day, if they just said, okay, everybody has to use metric, like by law. Yes. It would be funny to see how, like, the destruction, man. Like the world would crumble.
Do you remember back when people wanted to change the calendars to make more sense? And that would have been. I don't know if that was just in America, but, everybody used the same calendars. Like, they wanted the months to be different so that, there wouldn't be leap years or something. And then it was just like, but we're so used to it now. They didn't talk about it much because they got shot down real fast. But it ended up on the news.
That's a hard thing to do internationally, like you said. Like, that's tough. But the daylight savings thing.
Remember when Obama wanted to get rid of summer break? That was shot down even faster.
I do. I don't know if that was.
I don't even know if he actually wanted that or if he just put it out there. Just putting it out there. I'm just putting it out there.
I don't think it was an initiative. It was a proposal. Not even really a proposal, more of a concept.
And I mean, in places of the world where they don't have summer vacation, they do have people are more educated there. They have like higher skills and intellect.
So what?
There've been
America.
Studies. But I can't help but feel like they're also probably really sad. Like I can't imagine.
I can't imagine your entire developing life.
Yes.
You don't get a single break. And 3 months already isn't even a lot when you think about it. Like, just think about how constantly from age 5 or whenever you enter school in your country.
Dude, you're not looking at the mic. You usually do. Look at the mic.
To age 5 to age whenever you graduate. My head is pointed at the mic. Okay. I'm watching the waves because that way I make sure I don't get too loud, which is maybe something you should do because you get loud.
I have been watching the waves. Punches
That sounded like a bone cracking because it was my knuckle.
Yeah, every time you hit me, it hurts you more.
That's hilarious. What was I saying? It doesn't matter. We have 8 minutes.
You can't imagine living like that where your whole life?
No, well, I mean, already on a lesser scale, like that is kind of how the life we live. We just get 3 months of break. But when you think about it, it's all one continuous thing. Like, you haven't had a break from life.
I remember I was looking...
Until you get thrown into the workforce, and now you're working.
Dude.
Life is just constant. But, that's how it works.
Dude, I was looking at, like, some old American history stuff in, like, my U.S. history course and, like, back in high school. And, like, back in the day, people used to be, like, married and have jobs at 18. And like
or 16, yeah.
Yeah, dude, it was crazy. But now you can't do that because you're still in school. You're not.
You can't even do that.
I'm 22 and I'm still in college.
Right.
I have to be like. I have to be a boomer, so they say, the 30-year-old boomer, to be out and about.
That's why the fertility rate is dropping, the birth rate.
Yes, exactly.
Because you can't afford to have kids in college or even after because it takes such a hit on your wallet.
We do not do political stuff here, but we do conspiracies. This was all fabricated by the government. They want to control us.
College is more expensive than having a child, and child are expensive.
This is not bipartisan. This is not controversial. Everyone should know this. The government is after us.
This is tripartisan.
Tripartisan.
You got Jonathan's opinion, my opinion, and the viewer's opinion.
And your opinion doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter at all. Go away. Dislike the video. See what I do.
Back when we were...
Can we get 1 million dislikes?
Dude, this actually works. We were talking about college, then I wanted to say this, then we changed the subject, and I was still going to bring it up. Now we're back on college. We can talk about this.
Hate it.
Funny bus stories.
Burn it.
Funny bus stories. The bus hates me. But before we get to what happened on the bus...
We talked about the boomer story.
No. There's more. More stuff happened.
Okay, we got 6 minutes.
Okay. So, before we talk about what happened on the bus, but while I was waiting for the bus to show up, there was this guy. And occasionally on campus, you run into these people who have those earbuds with the microphone on them. And they'll just be on phone calls with people. But it'll look like they're crazy and they're talking to themselves. Because they don't have they're not holding up a phone or anything. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And it's funny. Yeah. It catches me off guard.
Like a Bluetooth headset?
Yeah. So they'll just be like walking and talking to someone just like in the air. And for a second I'll be like, are they talking to...
You know, it's awkward even when you like look at somebody when you think they're talking to you, and then it's just already awkward because you make eye contact and you're like, nope, you weren't talking to me.
But like even when I'm holding up a phone, there's some things that I just don't feel comfortable saying out loud with no context. But this guy, not only did he say something crazy out of context, but he said it without the phone. He was just like talking into the piece. And the guy said, the first thing I heard him say was, so when I got concussed, the people in the ambulance ripped my clothes off. That's the first thing he said. And then he followed it up by saying, and I was so mad because that was my new Nike jacket that I had just got. And then he said, but I stitched it up, so it's all good now, and I'm wearing it right now. And I looked and he was wearing it, and that was what I got jumped into. And that was just the most hilarious conversation I've ever been interjected into.
Thought he was like schizophrenic at first.
Yeah, he just said, so when I got concussed, he literally said that.
He just like sits down on the bus.
Just this chill looking dude in a cap and a Nike jacket. So when I got concussed, they ripped my clothes off.
What an opener. So that's what he opened with.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if that's what he opened with. That was the first thing I heard. That was the first thing I heard. So his friend just apparently knows about he got concussed somehow, and they called the ambulance. Oh my goodness.
Funny bus stories with Jonathan.
But no, here's why the bus hates me. Here's where the bus hates me.
Number 3.
They just opened up the doors to let people out of the bus. They were at a stop. And not even half the bus was off. So there's no reason they would think, oh, it's time to move on and go. And I was just getting out. And as I'm going out...
Okay.
I'll cover up my mouth.
No, here's the thing. The entire episode you've been talking like this, like so aggressively. And
this is who I am!
I'm used to it, but I realize like how annoying that is to listen to. It's not graceful at all, and it takes a toll on their ears.
We got 2 different personality types here, bro.
I'm just saying, talk a little softly.
Do you think... How much sound do you think this is actually blocking? I have my hand in front of my mouth. Both hands.
It just makes it sound muffled, probably.
Probably, yeah. But I can feel my breath bouncing back in my face.
I'm just saying, like, it's like...
I'll try to be calm, but this makes me kind of... It's not mad, but it's like a crazy thing.
It's not mad. You get very sharp and aggressive.
Yeah, I know.
And it's not easy to listen to.
Well, I used to have a problem where I would...
especially on a podcast.
Where I would start out sentences like... And then I would build up. And then people wouldn't hear the first 3 words I said. I used to have that problem. I still occasionally do, depending on like how confident I am about what I'm saying. I guess it's better to be sharp. I'm just saying,
on a song as long as this, you're drastically lowering their ear endurance because you're taking hits on their ears.
But I've also gotten like afraid that like no one will pay attention to me if I don't grab their attention right at the start of the sentence. Especially because people are always talking over me, and I'm not just talking. You don't
have a problem with that until it's you in Japan, huh?
No, because I'll know that they're not trying to change the topic. I just want to say stuff.
Maybe you have to understand the concept of turns. See,
turns.
I think it's a disconnect from you.
In Japan, conversations are RPG battles. Your turn. What move?
Speak. I think the problem was
affirmation.
I think the problem is not with society. I think it's with you. I think the disconnect is with you and society.
But like nothing happens without a reason. I'm trying to explain how society molded me into who I am.
It didn't. It didn't. If it had molded you, you would have conformed to society. But instead, you
We live in a society, and the society made me who I am.
Instead, you just... There goes the internet. Not that it matters.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah, thank goodness.
I wanted to make you scared.
I was thinking because we're using a computer.
We should talk about how, yeah. I
feel like I should finish my bus conversation real quick.
A video that I uploaded is up by now, by the time we're recording this, but it did the thing again. It was at 95% uploaded. I checked back 2 minutes later, and it went to 58%.
Oh, my goodness.
Our Wi-Fi is
the wonkiest wonk of them all.
It's not even broken anymore.
Willy Wonka.
It is destructive.
It's like...
It doesn't not work. It works in reverse.
I don't even know what to call it. It's like...
And the reason why I said it just went out is because the phone rings.
Every time the phone rings,
it goes out. Because we have DSL, which is probably the problem.
Oh, my goodness. So yeah.
Just know that... hour and a half.
All the odds are against us as content creators.
We have to record. We have to go to...
Yeah, we got to go to Caitlin's.
Yeah. We have to go to the apartment.
Caitlin's apartment Wi-Fi is...
amazing.
The best. Oh.
So we're gonna pull up. She's working, but we're gonna pull up in the parking lot and sit there and upload the video.
Yeah.
Nothing illegal about that. Technically, there isn't.
Well, yeah.
Continue your.
It's a bit sketchy, but it's not illegal.
You have like 10 seconds.
Okay,
exactly.
so not even not even half the passengers were off the bus,
8,
but then right as I'm leaving the bus, they closed the doors on me, not in front of me. I got wedged between the bus doors. I got wedged between the bus doors, and people behind me were like,
Stanley.
And people behind me were like, "What's going on?" And I was stuck in there. I couldn't get out. They had closed the doors on me. And the thing is, you think, oh, they noticed and open. No, they never opened.
You can open them by yourself.
No, they're automatic. They like close in on you.
Yeah, you can still open those, the bus doors.
No, they're kind of like mechanical on our bus.
Yeah, even on my bus though.
Well, I tried to open them, and after some effort, I managed to squeeze through, and they still closed all the way behind me. They never noticed. They just closed on. And then after they closed all the way behind me, they opened up and everybody else just walked through. The bus literally tried to eat me and then just let everybody go.
Probably because the next guys opened them. I'm telling you. I know what you're talking about because our school buses.
Open them. There is no handle. They are just two glass panes that close and open by the press of a button by the bus driver.
Oh. Ours are like that, mechanical, but they have handles where you can open.
Okay, yeah, there's right there. Ours don't have handles, dude. And they just closed on me. Like the automatic doors at like a Walmart.
I don't
with
know.
No handle.
I just can't.
I just had to like squeeze through the rubber flaps.
Just know that I can't fully. Yeah, ours have the rubber flaps, but you can open them.
But you can't do that with ours. They part. They don't even turn open.
I'm not saying you can. I just can't. Hey, welcome
Jason
back.
Somehow just stopped. He paused it.
With my wrist, I accidentally just pressed the space bar.
So you lost about 2 seconds of audio there.
I
was just like, press it again.
I just can't help but we were just like in shock. I can't help but think
I think we both had like a second where we were like, is it all over? Did we kill it?
I can't help but think that there's something you should have done. Like, say,
bus
driver, open the door.
Well, the thing is, my head was on the outside, and I couldn't turn around because I was stuck in position.
You were getting in backwards.
What do you mean?
Backward? You were getting in the bus backwards?
No, this was me getting off the bus.
Off. Oh.
Yeah, the story of the guy was when the bus was pulling up. This was me when they dropped me off.
Okay, well.
And I was getting off the bus.
I don't know. I guess you sucks to be you. Your life sucks.
Yeah, that would be one thing if I was getting on, because they never know like who's just walking by and who's getting on. If I'm on the bus, I'm getting off the bus if I'm standing up and walking towards the door.
Quite aggressive.
I don't know why they did that to me. Why does the bus hate me?
You're capable of talking soft, right?
I actually am not. No, yeah, I think I am.
No, just talk like casually, like really calmly. Like,
hey, my name's Jonathan. I like onion rings and corn dogs.
Talk kind of slow. It's more calming if you talk kind of.
Root beer is my favorite beverage.
Talk kind of slow. It's more calming if you like kind of just like blend your words.
What do you mean by slow?
There you go. You're doing it right there.
But now I'm literally talking like I'm trying to sound condescending to someone who does not understand me.
Well, you're exaggerating a little bit.
Well, no, this is, I think, the only way I can talk slowly.
You talk a little faster.
No, well, I mean, I can.
You just kind of blend your words. You don't make the enunciation very harsh. You just kind of blend.
I'm doing that with the enunciation. I just
talk faster.
I sound like I hate everyone in the room right now, but right now I sound like I'm the happiest guy alive. I do not want to sound like that. That actually hurt me. That felt cursed. That felt cursed. I'm gonna T the BH on that one.
I'm really glad you
felt cursed.
My legs are crossed. I'm really glad you're giving everybody a view into how annoying it is to live with you, Jonathan.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I like being happy. My bad.
He claims
No,
he
I'm not
cannot
gonna. I'm
speak
not
at
gonna
a
say it's not my
quiet
fault.
volume. You wake up in the morning, literally every time. It'll be like 7:30. Well, no, you don't get up. I get up at 7:30, and then you get up at 8 o'clock, and I'm like sitting here on my computer, and then you just start talking in like full volume while everybody else is still asleep. And I'm just like, hey, everybody's still sleeping. Like, I can't whisper. I physically can't whisper. So there you go.
Oh well, yeah. When I whisper, it sounds weird.
Yeah, whispering does sound a little bit different than
sometimes
talking.
I try to whisper and I just do a raspy voice, but I can't whisper. It's possible for me to whisper.
Yeah, you're whispering right now.
But the thing is, when I try to whisper, people always tell me I'm still being loud. Even when I'm doing this, they tell me I'm still being loud. Oh, let's ASMR this. Let's ASMR exit.
See, the whole concept of whispering is that you're still making tones.
You're not close enough, but I don't think they can hear you.
You're still making tones with your voice.
What do you mean still making tones? Of course I'm making tones.
With the wind, but you're not using your vocal cords.
What?
This is vocal cords.
No, yeah,
This is no vocal cords.
I can't. Yeah, I get it. I don't. But
So
why,
you physically just don't talk. That's how you whisper.
I get it, but why do people
Just can't get too excited. The ASMR cast.
Oh my goodness.
Our faces were uncomfortably close, so let's not do that ever again.
Really? I wasn't even. I was.
We
only,
were like right next to
I was
them.
only thinking about the way I sounded.
Okay. You want to end it?
I'd say it's already over. In the hearts of people who clicked away in the first 5 minutes. But if you made it this far, you the man, you the woman, you
got our special content, our exclusive ASMR content.
Yes.
Which by season 5 we're gonna be pumping that out on the regular. So.
See you next time for what will almost certainly be a shorter episode of the podcast.
Shorter? You mean an hour?
Yeah.
Normal.
Oh yeah, shorter than this one.
But normal.
But normal, yes. Or who knows? The future holds many things, almost all of which are a mystery to us.
Every consequent episode from this one, we just add 30 minutes to it.
Yep.
So by episode 20...
Get ready for the 10-year-long episode.
But is this 20th episode going to be long because it's special?
20th?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I thought you
We'll cross that bridge when we get there, broski.
You're right, it should be 1 minute.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. Is that the end?
Yeah.